Hello, my name is Joel H. Brewster, and I'm no stranger to horror. And this is a podcast discussing everything in the genre from hidden gems to iconic standouts, with the goal from taking you from casual viewer to a full-blown, full-out spooky fan. So with me today, I have Brittany Mirabile, and we're going to be discussing one of my favorite films, Purge Election Year, which falls in the Purge franchise. And it's extra special to discuss it this month as it stands out as uh, an iconic film within both Black History Month with Brittany's very, very amazing character, but also falling within Women in Horror Month. So as it tackles both those, as Brittany falls into both those categories, I thought it'd be a great guest to have. And yeah, Brittany, would you like to introduce yourself?
My goodness, thank you so much for having me. That's a great introduction. Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Brittany Mirabile. Gosh, what did I say? I've introduced myself in so many different ways. It's like, what do you want to know? Well, I'm an actress. I'm in New York. I've been doing this thing for a while, and this thing called acting, and I love it. I've been and really had a lot of fun playing Kimmy in Purge Election Year. Oh my God, it was one of the first times that I got to do my own stunts, and it was really cool experience. Yeah, I can tell you guys more. Just tell me what you want to know, man.
I have a bunch of questions. I have so many questions. One thing that really stands out for Kimmy for me, I thought from the whole franchise as a whole, there's very different characters that go from the older kind of richer families of the older, well, I'll be honest, they're older white families that are the wealthy that are supposed to represent the founding fathers, and then there's a lot of the purgers, and I feel like Kimmy kind of rides the world of both, because we see that she comes from with her school going uniform, we can assume that she maybe goes to a private school, but I thought it was really cool that Kimmy kind of is both of the worlds of the purge and just sits in here. And I just wanted to talk to you more about that. What did you think about the character when you first read the script, and what was the audition process?
Yeah, totally. So when I first got the script and I was reading all of this, I dove into that because I was familiar with the franchise already and the world of the Purge and what was going on. And I realized, since Kimmy, given her age, being a teenager, because she's like a junior or whatever, senior in high school, it's she would have grown up in this. The Purge holiday isn't something that just all of a sudden, whoa, this weird holiday happened. What, we purge it? Exactly how does this work? She didn't live in that weird transition.
Right. One thing I thought. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. Go on. Did you have a question? I have more. Trust me.
Well, I'm gonna forget. One thing I really love about Kimmy is I feel like every year for Halloween, even to this day, the movie came out in 2016, but I feel like every year in Halloween, people dress up as purgers, but Kimmy's the only character. You're the only person in the whole franchise people actually dress up as you, as opposed to everyone else dresses up as themselves as a purger, but people either dress up, if they're going to dress up as you, it's specifically you as Kimmy. It's not themselves as that character, which I think is really cool. You're the only one of the whole franchise people dress up as you.
They have a few of the others, but I do notice that my character was so well received. When I tell you, I wasn't expecting this. You know what I mean? I knew, some people that year, okay, maybe that year people are going to do it. But for Kimmy and the movie to be so well received and to just be such a moment where I was just oh my God, you guys really took it and ran with it. And I got so many pictures, and I'm still getting pictures, and I'm still finding stuff that I was tagged in. Some things I was wait, what? How did I miss this?
That's so cool. It's so
where
cool.
I'm going through and I'm seeing so many people where it's just and it's children, men, women, it's so cool. Everybody in between those things, oh my goodness, I loved it. I was overwhelmed. I was showing my mom, and then there was a time where mom was whoa, wait, what? I was yes, there's this video of this little girl. Oh my God, she's on my Instagram. I reposted it, and I also posted it on my Twitter, where she redid the whole little scene, and it was her and her little Barbie Jeep things, the little things for the gift for the girls. She had it with the lights, and she came out with the song with the Miley. I was oh my goodness.
That is so cool.
I cried. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm much more of a softie than Kimmy is.
How much of your personality do you think
Like, I was like, oh,
when you
I was
brought like
amazing.
Kimmy to life, like how much do you think that like when you reading a script, how much did you like bring into your, I guess you brought a lot of yourself into it, but how much was already written in the script and how much did you like improvise to bring that character to life?
I think it was a beautiful symphony of the two, because in the audition process, I had such a clear vision of like what was really happening and what was like what purging and why she needed. It wasn't about the candy bar, it was so much more about power. And that's really what the purge, like when you're looking at it, it's like when it's on a person to person, when they're looking at that, it's a power struggles between people, and it always like it just explodes. But then when you also, as the purge continues and you see like the government's into it, and that's also a power thing. But anyway, I kind of dove into that, and then from there realized what was going on, and I just made a choice that it was just absolute like bloodlust was happening, and getting to experience that, because it's like when she comes back on purge night, I just killed my parents, so it's just like like, you know, it's like this. It was oh my gosh, going through that, it was, I had so much prepared, but then after, when we're on set and they were just splatting the blood on me, and it was like this Carrie moment where what was already going on inside was just like even more charged, and it was just like yes. So it was just like this beautiful symphony of everyone coming together and really making movie magic happen, where it's just like, nah, the purge is happening right now.
So with that, you mentioned Carrie there. What other horror movies did you grow up watching, or what inspired you with this character?
Oh, with this character, see, so many. I love to play villains. This is my thing. It's because I don't know. I feel like they're more interesting. They're more fun. As an artist, me as an actor, I have so much fun. Like the good people, the good characters are fun as well, because it's like they always tend to be my favorites anyway. But me as an artist, I like diving into someone that just like is allowed and expected to be imperfect.
Right. That's really cool.
I don't know. There's just so much to say as an artist with that, because we're all imperfect, even to the extreme of wanting to purge for a candy bar and a power struggle, just like, oh yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like even that. It was like, this is so, for me, it was so fun to dive into such a bizarre, far from myself kind of situation. It was really fun to jump into. But I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and man, the evilness that has gone on as any Game of Thrones fan has seen any episode, like all the villains, everyone that's ever done some shystiness. I definitely have taken a little bit of that, because you know they kind of relish in it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and I saw moments where Kimmy would, because it's a power struggle, and I'm like, well, look who has it. And you're just going into that. And then also like James and all of his like great directing on set, when we were figuring out what her purge outfit was going to be. Like that wasn't predetermined. That was a thing where it's just like we went through like okay, maybe it's this. Okay, well maybe it's that. Well, maybe we put tape. Well, maybe we do this. Well, maybe it's this mask. And then like when we found the mask, it was like I felt it in my body when I put it on. I was like, no, I think this is it. And then like I was moving around, and he was like, how do you feel? And we were going back and forth, and it was just like we all were in agreement. It was like, okay, this is the mask.
Oh yeah, it was like a perfect fit. Like it was perfect mask. Like everything about the outfit, to like what you're saying about the rolling
big
up. Right?
Shout out to costumes. Big shout out to Elizabeth. Oh my God, she is rocking it out there. She is freaking working on all these shows, and freaking Jessica Jones doing her thing. Like she's also, she brought all the awesome options, because man, she brought some cool stuff. I mean, some of it ended up being masks that other people wore, either whether it would be in the crew or whether it would be other purgers. Right. But like to really put together that, because it was like they didn't want to make it, it didn't want to feel like Halloween. It wanted to feel like the purge, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a really delicate line where it was just like, yeah. This is it.
That's what I love about the purge.
This is it.
Right? That's what I love about the whole purge, the whole concept of the purge and everything about the look of it. It always reminds me a bit of X-Men in a way that like before X-Men, right, everyone had to have a certain way they got superpowers. And in the Purge, right, before that, everyone had to have a reason why they became a slasher. And in this, it gives each character individual reasons on why they ended up being like the characters they are. And with your character, with Kimmy, I thought it was so cool that within like every single line of dialogue you had, every look, it kind of told a story, which was like expertly done by you. But it told like a little bit of story. Like you mentioned your that Kimmy said she killed her parents, and that like told so much about that character right away, which I thought was cool. And that was mainly due to the delivery of it.
It was really fun, really fun. Also, I just wanted to mention, I know Game of Thrones is not a horror, so I don't want nobody out there but like, what the hell?
It has horror elements, so that's fine.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say, like, what I steal from is sometimes not the genre. If that makes, I don't know, as like an artist, like we all find influence in so many different ways, and sometimes you'll just be like, wait, what? You read a poem and thought of what? Like it'll be the most random thing, but inspiration, it just like falls out the sky. No, it doesn't. It either falls out the sky or you go hunting for it long enough where it's just like, you know what, this will do.
Absolutely.
As artists, I think we all do. Like, I think no matter what it is you do, it's just like you go through that where it's just like you hunt for it, but then also it'll just like, bam, that's it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So outside of like horror and outside of like Game of Thrones, because you brought that up, is there anything else, like as far as like music or anything else that like really brings you alive for not just this film, but like other films that really inspire you or to bring on different characters? Is there any songs you listen to that like really vibe with you when you're trying to?
Oh, so many. I steal from so many different places. I'm going to say steal because it's just like, as an artist, you kind of do. You take something and you make a collage. You cut it out, and you put it together and you go, oh, I like this idea and I like that and I like this. And I'll be like, oh, this makes me feel like this. And you know what? I can relate it to this. So it's just like seeking for inspiration. Like, yeah, I don't know. I listen to a lot of different things. One thing, not for the Purge, but I have listened to, I'll listen to like The Weeknd sometimes. I know it's kind of random, but sometimes it kind of puts me in a space where I'm kind of, I don't know, I feel open to like be active in my body because acting is very physical. Yeah. And then also for on camera, because it's just a specific thing that it calls for, you don't move as much, but you have to be so present. And for me, music, that makes me want to like move, but then also kind of takes me, I don't know, it sparks my imagination, things like that. Gosh, I also look at videos of like old movies. Like, I steal from so many places. Oh my goodness, you put me on the spot because there's just so many. Literally, it's just like the most random things. I'll watch TV. One of my favorite shows that right now, like, watch This Is Us, and some of the great work that's on there, and some of the ways that you would like
bringing like dramatic acting like from that into like other works is like from This Is Us. But I got a good idea there from like everything you're saying, that from a lot of different artistries you seem to pull into your characters, which is really
a lot of pull different, and it also depends on the era, because I might pull something back and listen to some Stevie Wonder. Yeah. So like it really depends on what the what's being called for. Hold on, I'm having a random call in the middle of.
So just continuing on here, you mentioned The Weeknd. Did you see The Weeknd Super Bowl performance?
Oh, yes, I did. Oh my goodness. So like, here's my thing. I feel like it was a polarizing performance because there's so many people that loved it. Mm-hmm. I'm one of the people that loved it.
Yeah, me too.
But then there are also people that were like, I didn't like it. And I'm just like, what?
I thought it was so cool and so innovative and it built to it, right? For all the things he's been doing this year. Like I thought it really built to this moment. So I thought it was a really cool ending to it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I was watching and it was just like, because I followed the story of it and I loved it. Like I was just like, all right, I wanted to almost get up and start dancing when Blinding Lights was on. I was right there. Like
yeah. And it's really cool too, because he spent his own money to make it. And I'm like, it paid off. Like it was really amazing visual performance at the end there. So it definitely paid off.
Yeah, it definitely did. I think it was a great performance.
You mentioned earlier, actually, I wanted to ask you about this. You said you you did your own stunt. Well, not your own stunts fully, but you said you did some of your own stunts for this film.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that the first time you've had to do stunts for a film, or have you had to do that in the past or since then?
No, that was the first time that I got to do stunts on a film, which made me realize, ooh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where, because they had two works where they had like a mannequin actually get hit by the car, but then they also had me on green screen,
Okay.
where I'm like had everything in full costume, but then I'm being pulled like I'm being hit by a car. So I had to land on like cushion, like, on that big old pillow thing. And it was so cool. It was kind of fun because it's just like, for me, the acting started when we were like young. So it was kind of like jumping back to, not in make believe, but you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like it really woke up inside me, which is like, wait, this could be really awesome. And then also in the car, the stunt driver was driving the car. So she was swerving, and on camera, it didn't look like it was that crazy of a swerve. But when I tell you, in the front seat of that car,
I can imagine. Could you even see out the windows? I was going to ask you about that. Could you see out the windows with the lights on there?
So it wasn't even the lights that made it hard. There was fog. So watching the movie, it gives you like this great eerie feeling, and you don't realize it's there, but it's there. But in person, it is thick.
Oh wow!
So when we're in the car, we're like we had a sense of like, it's safe. It was safe, but it was just kind of like, I think this is our mark right now. Okay, stop. Boom. All right, girls, ready? Get out the car. Like, you know, like, it was way. It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was because, like, it was just, I don't know. It was everything that we had to do, and then watching the other stunt, Wani's stunt double, actually like getting pulled and like having to like land into the car, and then like all of that. It was just, I don't know. It made me go, ooh, I could do more stuff with stunts. This is fun. So this is so, when the Rona is over, I would like to go.
You like to do some more action?
Like, it's like, I would see if I can, I mean, I would like to. I think that would, somewhere down the line, that'd be cool. Yeah. I think that'd be something, if I got an opportunity to just do something like that, it would be fun. I think I can have some fun with that.
Yeah, as an actor, you're looking to do more action-based or horror-based roles? Or are you just looking for all over? I'm assuming.
Yeah, because it depends. For me, it's about stories. See, I can't just be married to the genre. I love horror. What? You got a good, like, if it's an awesome horror story and, and it comes to me and I see it and I'm just like, oh my God, this is, then hell yeah. I'm not going to say no, of course not. But it's, for me, it's about the story and about what's going on with the character and what's going on. What does she go through and what's, that's the meat for me. Some people are just like, no, like, who, how big is this going to be? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? I mean,
yeah.
Don't come to me with no BS.
You're more driven by like personal stories.
I am a professional. I have my union card. I'm a professional.
But it seems you're more driven by like personal stories, right? So like more.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just like, and then also it doesn't have to always be like a little thing that'll like trigger your heart or anything. It's just like something I can be excited, a story that I'm excited to tell. Because really, that's it's what movies and TV shows is what it is. They're telling really awesome stories.
Absolutely. Which was really cool. Looking back now at the Purge, now like that years have passed, right? Do you find it a little eerie about how many things that happened in the Purge that kind of mirrored what's going on in the world? Because I watched it again recently, right? Which I've now watched after, like, because I watched it earlier, then I watched it recently, right? Once was before 2020, and now it's recently. And so many things that happened in that Purge Election Year, especially, so many things that happened in this film, as opposed to like the other films. This one really stands out of just too many things that mirror our reality now, I find.
Yo, okay. So I was not prepared for any of that. It was kind of creepy because at first it was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? Because it came out in 2016 and I was like, oh, wow. yeah, I can see how people, all right. And then like, time kept going on, and then I would see weird things in the news, and then people would tag me in the weirdest things, where it's just like something, I forget what state. There was some state where like for curfew,
Oh, the Purge music. Yeah,
they
I
set
saw
up the
that.
Purge siren. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then when I read the article, the person that was in charge, I don't know, Sergeant Chief, whatever. I mean, not out of disrespect, but I can't remember.
Yeah, that's fine.
They didn't know, they weren't familiar with it. And I was like, okay, listen, buddy, that's at least not just only the Purge, but like that's like a horror movie sounding.
Absolutely. It's a horrifying sound.
Okay, that sounds like, if you didn't know anything about the Purge, that sounds like something horrible is about to happen. Yeah. Run home right now.
Yeah.
That was like a weirdest choice.
It's the oddest choice. If you didn't know about the Purge, it sounds like biblically scary. Like it sounds like the end of the world. It's a serious sound.
Exactly. It sounds like a freaking UFO is gonna scorch right by, and you better duck.
Yeah.
Like
nothing good has ever come from that sound, like following it. Nothing good ever.
It's just bizarre. Like I'm laughing because like I'm remembering the sound and just thinking like, wait, like how did this make sense?
Yeah. That was
and then there was another one where someone was like just playing it out of their car.
Oh,
did you see that video?
I didn't see that video. I saw that other.
Somebody was just spinning around a block during quarantine, just playing the Purge. And I was just like, y'all better stop.
It's one of those. Honestly, I find Election Year, out of all the Purge movies, it's the one to revisit the most during this time for the scariest realizations, and just it's the scariest movie to rewatch right now, I find.
But isn't that like so funny? Because it's just like, oh, this is so scary. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. It's like watching Black Mirror. You know what I mean? Where you
absolutely.
Just sit there, you're like, wait. Oh man.
And I feel like
love Black Mirror.
Oh, I love Black Mirror too.
Yeah. For what? And it's just like I watch it all out of order because it doesn't matter. And I just love that I'm still catching episodes where I'm like, wait, I didn't see this one. And then just going, oh my God.
Is there a Black Mirror episode that stands out to you the most, that like you like the most?
Ooh,
I kind of put you on the spot there. Sorry.
Yeah, you did, but there's a few that I love. There's a few that I love. Let me think about the one. Hold on. I'm gonna just find it. All right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna find it because we're gonna do. Because if I start be like, oh, the one with the thing and the thing with the thing, then we're not gonna know what I'm talking about.
I'll like partially know, and I was like, yeah, the thing happens, and I like that too.
But like that thing happens, and then that guy, and then like the twist. It was just like, whoa.
Oh, I love Black Mirror. I miss that show. I wish it would come back. I need some new episodes.
I know, I need some new episodes too. Listen, it's gonna come back. It's totally gonna come back. It's just that, the Rona.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Shut everything down.
And it's like, it really did. Like things are going through right now. Like pilot season is happening right now.
Yeah.
At the time that we're speaking right now, it's like in February. So it's popping off, it's happening. But like still, it's just one of those things where it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It changes a lot of things. And it changes like, you have to get tested all the time. And then like a lot of things are just like, oh, well, you kind of want local hire, but then, well, depending on this, well, then if this person's, it makes a mess of things, as it did many other things.
Absolutely. And you're in New York, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For now, let's see. I might for now I'm in New York. Might bounce somewhere else, but yeah, I'm in New York.
And you grew up in New York? It's like you grew up your whole life there?
Yeah, born and raised.
Cool.
Born and raised, Bronx girl. Oh man, it's so funny because when I was growing up and I was like in art school, and there's just like, how many people from the Bronx are like, do really do this? And it's just like, no, listen, art is in the Bronx. The Bronx is like, come on, it's like the birthplace of hip hop. Don't be disrespectful in the Bronx. Like, come on! Right now, the Bronx is on the top Billboard charts. Miss Cardi B, hello.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And then of course, you know, the infamous J-Lo.
Of course.
Everybody know Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah, Bronx artists are famous worldwide. There's a lot of people that come from the Bronx, and now you're one of those artists that are like that's known worldwide too. That people know you from.
Cool. It's cool. I never like it was funny. People would joke with me like, "Oh, so that's it," but it's just like, whoa, like it made it happen. It's kind of cool. It's kind of sometimes a little surreal.
Yeah, I can imagine. But it's like, as far as the topic today of like Black women in horror, I find that like your character had such an impact in like just the Purge franchise in general, but also in horror, because there's not too, well, there is now, there's growing more Black women in horror, but your character as an antagonist, there's not too many antagonists, I find. We're getting a lot more of them, but yours was one of the most standout antagonists, I think, in the last couple of years. Yours and Lupita's in Us were like the two characters I can think of that had like that were bad guys in like Black women in horror in past little while here, which is really cool to think of.
Okay, first of all, you put me in a sentence, Lupita. I love you. Oh my god. Because what? When I tell you I'm a fangirl, a sister girl. But anyway, hey Lupita, I love you. Anyway,
I will tag her to this for you.
So like, yeah, with that, oh my goodness, it's surreal, man, because it's just like you put something together and you put it out into the world and you're just like, okay, I hope you like this.
Yeah.
And then when it goes beyond, oh yeah, you know, it was cool, to like people really really resonating and taking just taking off in the way that it did. It was just like, wow. In the way that it does, it's just wow. Like even like with the little Funko Pop doll, I was like, what? Like I was on the, I didn't know about it. Someone, I think I found about it like a little late, but I have one now. And I was just like, wait, what? And I had to like go find it in the stores. It was so funny. Like everywhere that I was looking, I couldn't find it. I found like every other possible Funko Pop doll that you could find, and I couldn't find the Purge ones. And then I went, I think I want to say in Midtown, that awesome comic store in Midtown. It was like a Midtown. I'm blanking on the name now, but if you're in New York and you know about the comic book stores and it's in Midtown, there's not many that you can confuse it with. But I went there and I saw it there, and I was just so shocked. Like I had like a little moment. I was like, "Mama, look!"
What was it like to hold that in your hand for the first time? To like actually see your character like immortalized like that?
It was a big moment for me. It was a big moment for me. Like I felt like I wanted to get teary-eyed, but then I was also like in the middle of the store and people were just being like, why is this girl crying holding this doll?
Well, go pop in the middle of the store.
I'm just gonna be like, yeah, let me just compose myself and have my little private moment. But I did. I really had a private moment having it. And then like I have one here in my house, and like I put on a little shelf, and like sometimes like I pass it, I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. This is for real. Like I have a collection of a few Funko Pop dolls. I'm probably gonna get more. And I have to find space for me to collect more, because it's like I can't become a hoarder.
Just cover your whole house with them. That will be it. And just put your one in the center.
Boxes and boxes of them everywhere. I have them on the dining room table.
That's so cool. Did you find the Black Mirror episode? Or just
oh my god, you know what?
If you can tell me what it's about, I can probably
hold up. I found it. Boom.
Okay.
50 Million Merits.
Oh yeah, Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh my god.
So good. God. So good.
Because it's just like when I watched it, I wasn't expecting it to go that way, where she was just like, they like, and then also the subtext, at least the subtext that I picked on it, is just like, yeah, there is this kind of like odd stardom that people chase, and it's not necessarily the best thing. Like I'm an advocate for like, okay, I'm an advocate for like, do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting nobody.
Right.
But it's like with social media, sometimes there are things where it's just like you watch stuff and you're like, wait, whoa, this is kind of weird how this is changing the world. Like, And then the way that people would put themselves in danger in order to go viral.
Right. Like how far people will go for it, which is
and then like these weird imaginary coins you get for going viral.
Absolutely. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah. And then it's just like, and it's kind of wild because it's like, yeah, everyday life does feel very monotonous. Maybe not in the same way of like, in that episode, but it's just like, I don't know. The episode says so many things, but like, oh, that really like struck with me because I was like, yeah, it was just so many awesome themes and things going on in that episode, and it just hit me like, what? I wasn't expecting that. And usually, I'm good at picking out what happens next when I watch TV. I'm one of those people, but I try to keep it to myself.
Yeah. Just don't want to ruin it for anyone else. I don't want to give the spoilers away, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, I'm pretty sure they're going to kiss next scene. I got it. And they'll be like, what? And they'll be like, and it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was not seeing her going up and then not seeing it flipping where he does the same at the end. I was like, wait, they what? It was just cool.
Yeah, it was cool like how it showed like everyone has their price, like and the end of that it kind of showed that, which was such a twist for me.
Everyone has their price. Yes. It's just like, yeah, it was a good one. That was a good one. That was one I was just like, whoa.
It's really cool to see Daniel Craig go from that to like Get Out. I believe came out like a couple of years after that.
Yeah. Oh my God, he has such range. Like I gotta watch. What was it? I'm blanking on everything today. I just can't remember the name of anything that I like. Nothing that I've watched.
It happens. I remember the first time I saw him was from the show, British show called Skins. And that was like where I first saw him. And then after that, I think I saw him in Black Mirror. And then after that was Get Out. And I'm like, man, this guy is like, the rise of him is just so interesting to me. And then he was in Widows was like the next thing I saw him in after that. And and then now this series and now I'm blanking.
Judas and the Messiah.
Thank you.
No, Judas and the Black
Messiah.
Boom. Yeah. There we go. That I want to see that. Me too. I think I'm just gonna get the damn HBO Max subscription just to watch it, man. Like I think that's what I'm gonna like really, because I want to see that, and I'm not going to no movie theater right now. So
no. Yeah, but it's like it's one of those ones. It's like you were saying about like personal stories. That's a personal historic story that I definitely need to see that.
Yep, exactly, totally, definitely a story that needs to be. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what? Yeah.
And Lakeith Stanfield, I really can't wait to see his performance as well.
Say word.
Strange thing, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I didn't notice he was in one of the Purge movies earlier. I found that out today.
Yes.
That was
he's in Anarchy. Yeah. He's behind the God mask.
Yeah, I found that out today. I was like, that's the like research.
Yeah. So sometimes people dress up as his character because they have the God mask, and I think they have the God mask and Yeah, that's it's in the second movie, so Anarchy.
Yeah, that was like a weird revelation today, because like him to be that.
That was
So upcoming for you, what do you have on the horizon here? I just wanted to hear more about what you got going on in that sort of while here.
Yes. So what I have coming up is, well, I have a film that's been coming out. I'm featured in one. It's a feature film. It's a comedy. It's not a straight up comedy. It's one of those abstract, weird adventure comedies. It's very stylized, but also a really awesome watch. I'm really glad that I'm able to share it because we shot this before COVID and everything changed. So we had we had a lot of great things about filming and like what we were able to catch in the footage and things we were able to do, since it was just, there weren't any restrictions yet. So it kind of made me homesick watching it because we shot it in New York.
Right.
And we really captured New York as a character in the film.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I can imagine that.
And
must
the
be
absurdity and like the absurdities of like, like the different things that, going around in New York, like, as a New Yorker born and raised, you walk around the subway and this thing's happening, that thing's happening. It's like, you feel this this uniqueness that New York has is
Right.
like is very electric and it's very palpable in this film. So it's called Alberto and the Concrete Jungle. Let me get the full little information here because I had it open here and then I opened it to go Google.
Oh.
Blackberry.
But Alberto and the Concrete Jungle, you said?
Yeah, Alberto and the Concrete Jungle. Yeah, we've been around the film festivals right now. Did really well. Won some stuff at the Bushwick Film Festival. I won Best Feature at the Apple Film Festival this for 2020. So we're really proud of that.
That's really cool.
It was really, I'm really glad to hear about it. Our executive producer, Hill Harper of the Good Doctor, and the other executive producer, Paul Cho, who they also are doing some awesome things. A documentary that they produced is getting nominated for an Oscar. So that's kind of cool for them. I'm like, they're celebrating, doing their own little things. I'm like, yay, good for them, shout out to them. But yeah, Alberto and the Concrete Jungle. Let me look up the film stuff, the film festival stuff, and I can like get back and we can circle back because I gotta like pull that up because they sent it to me in an email and now everything, the perfect storm is happening where it's just like, nope, can't find it.
Okay, we'll circle back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're just bringing up the uniqueness of New York. Is New York, like, as a place that you live there, is it your favorite place to film, or do you like going, prior to the world being what it is? Do you like staying home to film, or do you like traveling around to film?
Oh, I don't mind traveling. I don't mind traveling to film at all. I miss traveling, honestly. Yeah. But shooting in New York, I have so many memories of making films in New York. One thing in particular, me and a close friend of mine, her name is Naomi. She's a writer, brilliant writer. And when we were first starting out, we'd make student films, and we would not have any permits. And back this was before it was totally fine for people to be shooting skits, you'd get what someone's doing. You wouldn't know what we were doing. So sometimes there was a scene that we had to do in a graveyard.
Yeah.
So we went to a cemetery, and we weren't, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You were not supposed to do that. But we figured, what are they gonna ask us? We're just like a group of 10 people. We kept it, real skeleton crew, short, small cast. We were just gonna go in and out, quick little boom, boom, boom. But then my friend Naomi, she hired an actual priest, and because he was a friend of her mom, and he got to chatting with the people that work there. He's like, yeah, we're filming something here, and they're like, you're doing what, where?
Just stops it dead the tracks.
Yeah, so I was just like, so we had to improvise, but we have so many fun bloopers of projects where we even have one where we joke about it and call it the film that we do not speak of.
Oh, cool. And I was going to ask you about it, but I suppose that's in the title.
Oh, no, it's not out. It's something that you wouldn't be able to Google. It's something where it's we made it was done, we went through all of it. She looked at it and then she was just like, wow, this was bad. But it's a part of the process,
Absolutely.
It's a part of you go through it, you go through something, you write it, you figure out, you cast it, you get your crew, you get your equipment, you figure out your locations, you switch locations, you do what you got to do. And then you look at it and you're like, what did we learn?
Yeah. With you saying that, do you like more of a skeleton crew sort of feel, or are you a big fan of? I suppose the story doesn't really change. A good story is a good story. But what do you prefer, more of an independent feel, or more of the bigger budget feel? As far as
you see, both have their advantages because, with the big budget, you have you have a lot of advantages where it feels like, okay, well, we can do this. Like we could shoot here on location, or we can shoot, the green screen and do this. We do, like we have all these resources.
Right.
But then when you're on an independent film, it also challenges your creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as a creative, you're always problem solving.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? And then also, since I have so many fond memories of being on indie film sets, either as an actor or even as a PA, because when I first started my acting journey as a PA on a few independent films, and the electricity of being on a film set. Like I love being on film sets. Like some people are just like, that's the most stressful place in the world for them, but this is part of the job. Me, I eat it up. I love it.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I love it. I don't know. It's just, I guess, I don't know. It's just something of, I don't know. It's just a part of the fun process for me as an artist. It's just a part of the fun. I have background in theater, like seeing the props and everything all together. It just makes it,
I was going to ask you that, as a New York actor, do you find that like a lot of your theater background comes out and becomes very more helpful in like being in pictures? In I was going to say major motion pictures, but
in the pictures.
So, do you find that it comes alive more in acting, like as far as like having to like change things on the spot and such, and being able to react on the fly?
Being able to act on the fly. See, with theater, yes, that does teach it to you. It does. But also I did some improv when I was doing theater.
Okay.
So doing improv and also like doing theater really does help you like to kind of like be on the spot and really to be more comfortable with improvisation. Because sometimes some auditions may call for that.
Okay.
They may ask you, hey, can you like maybe like improv this a little bit, or you can freestyle this, or like sometimes, not always, but they did most of the time they want you to be on script.
Yeah.
But it is something that with that background, I do see that it helps me in film. It does help me feel very, I don't know, it does. I feel like it frees me up, at least as an artist in my experience. I mean, I can't speak for anyone that hasn't had improv or theater experience, because maybe that's also a freeing experience where on camera is what you mean. So I can't speak for other people's thing, but for me, I think it was helpful in some ways. Yeah. And in other ways, it was a little bit of having the transition, because it's they call for the same skill, but it's executed in different ways for the medium.
Okay. So do you think that a combination of like your improv, your theater, as well as your being from New York, which is like obviously a very lively, very energetic city with a lot of like things going on at the time, at any time, do you think that a combination of all those things really brings alive your performances?
I think so. I definitely can't accredit that. I do feel like New York inspired me in so many ways, because like I'm in love with my city. I love New York. I love New York. Like there are times where it's just like, growing up and like going to the city and like, because going to 42nd Street wasn't really like why go, that whenever I would go, like at least at the beginning when I would like, venture out into the city on my own, I was just like, oh my God, I'm in Times Square. And now I'm like, get out of my way. I'm not even going to Times Square. But the magic of New York definitely inspires me and definitely inspires like my work. And I guess, yeah, it's very much a part of me. I feel like sometimes people will meet me and be like, oh, whoa, you're very, I was like, nah, it's the New York. You know what I mean? Like it's New York. It's a part of me.
Do you find that anything from like the part of you that is New York, do you find that a lot of that was brought into like your character for The Purge? Just to circle back to that, I asked that as well.
I want to say some of the swag. Some of that swag is definitely influenced. Definitely some of that, like, yo, what's up?
Yeah. Well,
I'm outside.
Well, I think that's like what was really cool about your character, right? It was like a lot of the other purgers in it are crazy in a way that, I mean, they seem like very unhinged, but your character had a singular focus, but had like such a fucking badass attitude towards that I thought it was a very different portrayal to like every other Purger apart from your like little crew. I thought like everyone else kind of seemed, in the best way to put it, I feel like that your character as well as your little crew there seemed to operate almost in a different movie that was put into this as an antagonist. And I thought that was really cool. And do you feel like a lot of that came from like who you guys all were, or was that how you were directed? I'm just curious about that.
I think it was a combination of things, because also, of course, the director, like, had a creative choice of how everything would be put together, and how, as far as like with the final edits and everything, what would be.
Yeah.
So it was more like, I would say it was definitely something like that, where it's just like, that's kind of, and it also, in a little bit is like, there was a few things where it was suggested as far as like, for me, where it's like, okay, well, this is what's happening like on the outside, and then,
yeah,
hopefully it comes across, and it did. So
really did.
Yeah. So I'm glad that those things came across for me, at least for what I wanted to and what I saw. Cool.
Did you find out more about that Alberto in the Concrete Jungle?
Yes, I did. So first you could hit up the director's website, because he gives you so much of the information. So I'm going to spell it out, because we're going to make it nice and easy. So it's ChrissHimojima.com. And you're going to find out all the awesome information about Alberto and the Concrete Jungle. Now, the film festival is happening in March. So from March 5th to March 14th, you can check out this virtual film festival, Cinema Unbound. You could buy tickets online. It's $9. If you have $9 and you want to check out the film, you can check us out at Cinema Unbound. And I'm going to also spell that, because, Unbound, do your thing. So that's CINEMAUNBOUND.org. And check us out. Come, let me know if you see it. Hit me up on my Instagram and say, hey, what's up? I liked it. Or, whoa, what was that character about? What's up with that? Very different from Kimmy.
Well, I'm very excited to see it. And I'll definitely put that all in the show notes here. So for anyone listening, it will be attached to this podcast, and you can find it in the show notes as well. Just before we wrap up here, I just have a couple more questions that I've just learned to know. Okay. First, Black Mirror. Is that a show you'd like to star in the future?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Yeah. I would totally love that. I would totally love to do an episode of Black Mirror. Something that's just gonna be like, one of the ones where you're like, oh, what? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd be a good fit. I'd like to see you in Black Mirror too. So I'm just hoping that in some way, this, with your amazing acting abilities and this podcast, it can somehow get to the person to get you there too. Like, hope you. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Let's put that out there in the universe for me.
And my last thing to put out in the universe, because we brought up Lupita, is not just Lupita. Is there another, because we're talking about Black women horror, but let's just talk about Black actors in general. Is there another actor that you'd like really like to star across from, that you think like just chemistry wise you'd work well with?
Chemistry wise that I feel like I'd work well with.
Or like just an actor you're just like, oh, that's like my person I'd love to like be in a scene with, or.
Well, like my person, I looked up to her for, oh my goodness, Regina King. Oh my God. Regina King. Like,
she is so good.
And then so to be like a fan of hers, and then when Watchmen came out, I was like, yeah, you
right?
And it was just like, oh man, when I saw that there wasn't gonna be season 2, I was it felt like I got kicked in the chest. I ain't gonna lie.
I was heartbroken. We honestly could have done a whole episode talking about Regina King. I'm glad I asked you this question last because I could have done a whole episode just talking purely about Regina King with you because yeah, she's phenomenal.
Wait. But yeah, I just I'm saving watching One Night in Miami because like I know that it's gonna trigger some stuff. And for me right now, after a lot of let me be straight up, 2020 was a hell of a year.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when it comes to subject matter, I have to take my time. I have to just, like be in a certain mind space because like it roused me up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I love these stories. These stories need to be told. Of course, not. I'm 100%, behind that. But for me personally, as a viewer, I do have to kind of treat it like I'm going into an ice bath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I have to just be like, okay, and I'm gonna press play.
I'm the same way for that and Judas and Black Messiah. I'm like, I really want to see them, but I need to get in the headspace.
You have to be in the headspace. So it's just like, but I love Regina King. Oh my gosh. Hey girl, if you're hearing this, hi.
It shocks me how many great things she's done, and then she was in the Boondocks as well.
But then that's like, what did you say? Let me tell you, that's how it started for me, because I had this cool little gig a few years ago, and I was still in school. I was still in my acting school, and I had a front desk receptionist job, but it was like for an arts like nonprofit organization. And it was really lax. Okay. It was an office full of artists, and it was like educators, and it was like liberals left and right, super chill. You know what I mean? Super chill. So, sometimes on my lunch break, I'd take lunch like at my desk, and I'd be watching the Boondocks with my headphones on. Yeah. And when I became like a huge fan of that show, I looked up like, who is this? Like, what? And then I saw the Regina King did like multiple voices. I was like, because like I already knew who she was, you know what I'm saying, before that. Yeah. But then I was like, yo, that's who that. And then it dove in from there, like from just that artistry. Like I was floored. I was taken from just there. So the ride of her career, and like I really look up to her. She's really one artist of the many that I look at. She's one where I'm just like, yeah.
She's absolutely amazing. Yeah, definitely an artist that like, I see her name attached to anything, or I hear she's in. I'm going to see it, whatever it is. Doesn't how she's attached to it. I need to. Yeah.
I get that under her. Like I'm just like, but yeah. I'm trying to think like other artists where it just like hit me. I mean, this feels like an obvious answer, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it. Beyonce. Yeah. Like
impossible not to love Beyonce.
You know what I mean? Like I have so many like as far as my playlist, like I'm trying to think of like people that pop up in multiple playlists. You know what I'm saying? Like it just speaks to the soul, you know what I mean? And it also speaks to like the empowering part when you gotta have your swag on. Yeah.
So yeah, it's so amazing.
Yeah. So like mixing those around, those are some artists, some people that
well, I'm really hoping that you get to work with both of those people, because that'd be amazing.
Man, what? Let me tell you something.
That's the energy of putting out the world for you. I really hope you get to work with both those people.
Man, if I get there for Beyonce, I was just like, girl, what? That would be. I would be like, girl, Beyonce, I love you. Whatever. What's your what? I'd have to probably have a moment. I'd probably have to take a moment to just be okay, it's okay. Okay, I'm not gonna bow. All right. You know what I mean? Like you gotta compose yourself, because there's some people where it's just like you'd be starstruck. Yeah, and I would be starstruck. I would just be so starstruck. I would just be like, oh my god, and it's just like it's I don't know. It's just I'm one of those like whenever I've seen her in concert, I'm one of those people like that's teary-eyed.
She's so amazing. Now you mentioned starstruck reminds me of like a Nas line where Nas says like that even stars get starstruck. when people see him. And I kind of feel that same way about Beyonce, right? Like it's one of those celebrities that stars get starstruck.
You'd be like, oh my god, what? Is that Beyonce? So yeah. She's in multiple of my playlists.
Yeah, she's amazing. All right, so just to wrap up here, where can we find you on social media? Is there anything you want to plug there for your handles?
Social media, sure. So I can tell you guys my Instagram. Let me show you guys my little IG because I have like different things for everything. So you can hit up this specifically. Hold on a second. Because I wanted to change it, but I'm gonna keep it. Oh, hold on. I think someone's having a situation. I think someone tried to walk and got tripped. I don't know. I just hear from my background. You okay? So it's at Brittany Mirabile, BRITTANY MIRABILE.
Perfect. And is that your Twitter handle as well?
My Twitter handle is abbreviation, so it's Britt Mirabile. Because they were not trying to let me have my whole name, and I was like, come on, like what?
All right. Well, so if you're listening to this, please follow her. She is absolutely amazing, and this was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this. It was awesome that you just got back to me, and I was really happy to have you for this episode. I had no plan B. I had you in mind for this specific episode. I told the producer I had a plan B. Spoiler note, I didn't. This was you responded so quick, and it just worked out so perfectly. So I can't thank you enough for that. I had no plan B.
Totally.
For this episode.
Thank you for having me. I was thank you for having me. Yeah, I like doing interviews. So I was like, oh cool. Yeah. And then I was like, especially like when it was for horror, because like so much of my followers are horror film fans. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. It sounds like a great collab.
Well, I really, really appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll see you later, everybody.
Later.